Alright, welcome to Knocked Up After the Shot. I'm your host Justin. We are not going to be doing a whiskey today. We are getting in prep for our bear hunt coming up. So today's strictly just going to be a podcast, and it's going to be a pretty coul one. I named it Sports Center Top 10. We're going to go over the top 10 hunts, in my opinion, to do in the United States. It's probably going to make some of you guys angry for what I don't include in the list and what I do, but your list could be different than mine. It's no big deal. But let me know what you guys think about this, and we will go from there. I do want to apologize for the lack of content over the last couple months. My wife and I just had a baby. Yes, she's beautiful, awesome. We got a little girl. Life's been different. Life's been a lot different. It has been lack of sleep, a lot of challenging things, and she's only 2 months old. So we'll see how it goes, but for now, she's the most perfect little girl, and couldn't be more happy. So sorry for the lack of content over the last 2 months. I know the last few times before that, we talked about every Tuesday-ish releasing a video, whether that be YouTube or another podcast, and that hasn't happened, but we're getting back on that starting today. You'll get one this Tuesday, coming up on the 13th. We're not filming then, but coming up on the 13th, and then you'll get one on the 20th, and then the next one following after that, you'll get David and I in the field actually bear hunting. So it's gonna be fun. So new thing that we're gonna start today, we're gonna go events of the day. I want to kind of bring to light a few things around the nation that's going on in the hunting and conservation world, to give you guys some news and updates about it. It's only going to be 2 things every podcast. May not be relevant to what you guys do, but it's relevant to hunting and fishing, conservation, the outdoors, anything and everything that could go along with that. So let's see what the first one, Arkansas Game and Fish is where we're starting. There's a survey back in 2021 that the duck populations have decreased in Arkansas 12%. According to the harvest numbers, this could be attributed to the increase in temperature over the recent years and habitat in Canada declining. Therefore, not as many ducks are breeding earlier in the year and making travel down south to us. That sucks. We live in Texas, but Arkansas is right here on the neighbor side of things. We see the same thing in Texas. It's declining rapidly. Haven't gotten huge into duck hunting up until the last year or so. But before that, I mean, I've been duck hunting before, and it's been awesome. Lots of ducks flying around, but man, even with other hunters I talk to, Colin, you'll see in the next couple months here on podcast, he has been duck hunting forever, and one of the things that he mentioned to me was just the massive decline. It's been crazy. You know, you can go out and duck hunt 5-6 years ago and bag a limit, no problem, kind of like walking out for dove. But with the rapid temperature increase, lack of food, more population of humans going up, lack of habitat to live in, it's been bad. And Arkansas Game and Fish has seen that as well. So not really sure what we can do about that. Temperature's going up. We got to deal with it. So hopefully the ducks deal with it and come back down to us, and we can increase those harvest numbers. So yeah. Next one, Arkansas Fisheries Department state that locals and visitors could see an increase in salmon carcasses in the river this year. Sounds weird, but every year salmon swim up the river, spawn, and die. It's a normal cycle, and those carcasses feed the wildlife around there: wolverines, brown bears, algae in the rivers, a multitude of things. And with the salmon population decreasing in the wild, I don't know, say we got half the salmon going up, just a random number, spawning and dying. Well, half the food source is gone, so that way half of the things that eat that food are gone as well. So the Oregon Fisheries Department is actually taking salmon, not wild salmon carcasses, stuff that you get out of fishery or, not wild in a farm or something like that, and putting them in the rivers in multitude to help regrow those populations in the rivers and help sustain those scavengers. So hopefully that'll be good for Oregon, and you can get the salmon population back up so all of us can enjoy the wild caught salmon just to eat, even in the store if you're not a fisherman, and go up there and hopefully throw a fly out and get some of that. So that's cool. All right, into the meat and potatoes of this. What I'm going to do today is the top 10 hunts in the United States based on animal, my reasons why, and then I'll give you my runners up and why they didn't make it to the list. So coming in at number 10. Now this, I want to remind you of this right now. I haven't been on all these hunts, and most of those that I haven't been on made it to the honorable mention section. So they might be awesome hunts. I just never been on them, but I can't speak to those only because I haven't been on them. They may be awesome. May have talked to my list. So we're going to take this now. It is September the 12th. This podcast will come out on the 13th. This will come out, and who knows, maybe a couple years down the line, 2-3 years down the line, we do a Sports Center Top 10 recap, and I go back through the top 10 and say, wow, I'm an idiot. Why did I put that at number 9 or on the list at all? This definitely needs to be included in here. So anyway, but for right now, at 2:30 in the afternoon on September the 9th, this is the top 10 things to do hunting-wise in the United States. Coming in last place at number 10 is dove. Straight up. Dove is easy. I mean, shooting dove is sometimes difficult, but hunting dove is easy. Millions of people do it every year with their kids, their spouses, family events. Hell, half the people that get out there and do it are half blitzed and still shoot a couple dove. I've been dove hunting forever. It's delicious in a jalapeno, a little cheese. But the reason it makes my top 10 is ease. It gets people outside. It gets people hunting. And you get to experience the outdoors. So, just solely for that reason, it's number 10. Right there. That's the whole point of hunting conservation, is getting people outside. And dove hunting does that in large numbers compared to the rest of these. So that comes in at number 10, no contest. Next, predator hunting. Predator hunting I include in bobcats, foxes, coyotes, lions, the whole enchilada. I'm kind of grouping them all together here because you hunt them in similar fashions in most cases, especially in Texas. So throwing all those in, I mean, you got varmints too. You got raccoons and possums and all sorts of stuff. So the reason it makes my list is because it's a blast. It's an absolute thrill. You can shoot any type of weapon. I mean, realistically, you want all the way from, I've done pistol to recurve to 300 Win Mag that can take down a bull elk in Alaska. Shoot at a coyote. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can shoot all sorts of stuff. It slides into number 9 because most predators you don't eat. So there's an ethical thing there for me of killing the animal and saying, well, I'm not going to eat it, so I just killed it for no reason. But, you know, there are other reasons, especially in the coyote world. You got whitetail fawns that are getting taken care of by the coyotes, that also wolves going after elk. A number of reasons to shoot predators. They're a nuisance on most people's land. But it does go lower in my list, even though it is so much fun. Because you do it at 2 in the morning most of the time, and I sleep a lot. Well, not anymore, since the baby came. We don't sleep ever, but yeah, I mean, that's the only reason that it comes in. You do it in the middle of the night, and you don't eat the meat, so it's kind of a waste. But there's a lot of other good reasons people do predator hunt, so it did make the list for that. So, moving on. Number 8. This one, I'm not sure any of you guys probably would have guessed. Number 8 is alligator. It's tricky just to include this on the list, just because of the method of harvest. That's the only reason I'm including it. Now, when I say that, it's a double-edged sword. Method of harvest is awesome and kind of lame in the hunting world. So Typically, method of harvest is big ass hook, chunk of chicken, throw it in the water, and you're fishing for an alligator to take that bait and swallow it all the way down to its stomach and not be able to escape the hook, in which you pull it to the boat or on shore and dispatch the animal. Most of the time it's either some sort of weapon blow to the back of the skull. On the hunting side, I don't think it captures that for me. I think it's more of a trapping thing. So it's far down on my list at number 8, but it's also made the list over some other things that are controversial, probably in the honorable mention section. The meat's delicious. The hide can be used for a multitude of things and is beautiful. And man, there's just something primal about jumping on the back of an alligator if you pull it up on land and taking that bad boy out. I don't care who you are. There's not a bone in any hunter's body that doesn't say, wow, I feel like a badass after doing that. So that makes the list for those things. But I can definitely see why it would be lower on some people's list, just because I feel like it's a trapping thing and there's other cool things to hunt. I hadn't done it yet. So, all right. Coming in number 7 is feral hogs. Now, before you jump all over me and say, well, you know, feral hogs you hunt at night, just predator hunting is at night, and you want to sleep. Well, hunting hogs is fun. It's cheap. You can do it wherever you want. And man, there's just something about pulling a string back and watching an arrow fly and listening to him squeal. Call me a psychopath, but I love it. I love it. It's amazing. And if you're from the South, you can almost do it wherever you want. They're the problem child of the outdoor world right now. You do have to be careful with fleas and ticks. But grab a bottle of Dawn and some hot water and spray them off before you gut them. They're delicious. If you're shooting pigs and letting them lie, letting the coyotes eat them, I'm not gonna say you're dumb, but you're missing out. Eat them. Breakfast sauce. I mean, it's just like a domesticated pig, but it's wild. It tastes delicious. You would never know. I can give you Jimmy Dean's, and I can give you Jimmy Dean's recipe in a wild hog, and you wouldn't know the difference. Promise. Number 7, easy. Number 6. I just started doing this last year, and it's already up to number 6 because it's freaking blast. Ducks. The quackers. I didn't know anything about the duck hunting world until last year, and in the last 8 months, I bought 3 dozen decoys, waders, new shotgun, shells, all the garb, blind stuff. I mean, it's like bow hunting for me, honestly. When I learned how to bow hunt, buy the bow, buy the arrows, buy all the stuff, buy the concealment. I mean, it's the same thing. It's a blast. Letting and ripping out a duck call when the sun rises in the crisp, cold morning with your buddies and watch them come in. Early season teal, they fly fast. They're harder to shoot than dove and most other flying creatures. And they're tasty. Tasty, tasty, tasty. If you're like, oh, I don't like duck, it's gross. You're gross. Cook it right. Figure it out. They're delicious. Ducks are easy, number 6. No question. I don't know that they'll ever go higher than that because they are a bird and I can't shoot them with a bow, but 6 is pretty high for a bird from an archer. So that's number 6. Cracking the first one in the top 5. Never been, can't wait. Mule deer. Mule deer is number 5. The reason mule deer is number 5 for me is because I've whitetail hunted my whole life and I feel like mule deer hunting is the major leagues. You go to western states and you get this experience with mule deer. Huge horned animals, big bodied, they taste delicious. I mean, yeah, you can get some that have been feeding on a bunch of sage and not so bueno. But for the most part, they're delicious. Tags are relatively inexpensive, even for out-of-state hunters. And you can bow hunt them. Check all the boxes. They're checked. all the boxes. The only reason it comes in at number 5 is because 1 through 4 are bomb, or else it would be higher. Number 4 is bears. Number 5 is mule deer. Bears are way cooler than mule deer, and I've never been bear hunting. I can tell you right now. Number 4 is bears. Been doing a bunch of research, videos, encyclopedias, books, seminars, all sorts of stuff about bears. We're going at the end of this week, David and I, for black bear. And for me, there's something about walking the same path as beasts and being among them that stands a hair up on the back of my neck, and I'm like, top 4, done, easy. I mean, how could you not want to be? Oh man, it's just terrifying. 15, 18 yards from a bear, and you're shaking like a leaf. Shaking like a leaf. If you're not in tune with yourself, you might shit your pants. They only come in at number 4 because some people don't like bear. I've never had it, so they're at 4 because I've never had the meat. I hear the fat's amazing, but I've never had the meat. Some people don't like it. You gotta cook it thoroughly in order to avoid trichinosis. Man, I can't stop thinking about it. I want the rug. I want the experience. I want to stand there and have old Baylor Bear sitting right there. Done. Just fling the arrow, bolt him right up. So that's number 4. Number 3. Number 3 is turkey. You would agree with me on number 3 being turkey if you've sat there against a big white oak tree, ripped a crow call, and got a gobble back. It just piques your interest. And it's fun. If you've never been turkey hunting, never been successful at turkey hunting, 3 is probably a little high for you. This one's controversial. Turkey, number 3, above bear, mule deer, and with stuff that it didn't make my list at all. But they're tasty. They challenge even the best hunters. I'm bad at turkey hunting. Bad. Can't really shoot a shotgun that well. And turkey, they don't really move too fast, so aim for the head, breathe and squeeze. Calling sucks. I'm bad at turkey hunting, but I love it. I love it. And you can hunt them with minimal experience, guides, do your research, go out publicly and hunt them. And that's great. Get out there, get in the outdoors and experience nature. Turkeys are just fun, man. That's why they're number 3. They are fun. Even when you're not on them and you can just hear them, you're having fun. And you feel like you're accomplishing something. It's kind of like, it's almost like duck hunting for me. If you've ever been duck hunting, I can equate it to this. You're ripping out calls and you're getting ducks to come by and you're not killing them. Or there's ducks in the area and you're getting them to fly in and you're missing. You're still having a freaking blast. That is turkey hunting. You can sit there and scratch on your bird. I mean, it doesn't matter. Gobble them back. Seeing a couple hens. It is fun. It is not a wasted morning in the woods. Trust me. Number 2 on my list is whitetail. Whitetail hunting made me. Made me the hunter I am today. I started hunting on whitetail. First thing I ever shot, wow, sounds like a rabbit. First thing I ever shot was a doe. 212 yards with a rifle. Dropped her. Big old girl. Awesome. Just an experience I'll never forget walking up to her. Biggest game animal I'd ever shot at the time. I've shot dozens of deer, been filling my freezer with it for years. I've got 5 or 6 bucks hanging on the wall. It may be too high for some of you, but it's an emotional connection for me. We go every year down to LJ Blessings Ranch and get to bow hunt that place. Every time I pull the string on one of those deer that's under the feeder, my heart's pounding. breathing heavy. I gotta calm myself before I let the string fly. And deer are smart, okay? You're not going out there and people are like, oh, you know, they're just standing there waiting under the feeder, waiting for it to go off so you can kill them. When you say it like that, it sounds terrible. Are they standing under the feeder waiting on the feeder to go off? Yes. Do they come into the feeder at the sound of the feeder because they're creatures of habit? Yes. Do they taste delicious? Yes. Are they hard to hunt? Extremely. Bucks won't eat for days if they think there's danger in the area. Days. And does, man? Tough. Tough to hunt. Skittish. Move real quick. Real quick. If somebody's ever like, yeah, I shot a doe at 44 yards. Ooh. With what? A gun? Because I'd be damned if that doe didn't move 44 yards. Maybe a buck. Not moving too fast because he's king of the castle, you know. I have a chair. Doesn't think there's any danger. But a mature doe, 4.5-year-old, bud. Check your facts. Whitetail are awesome. Number 2, gonna be hard to move them. Number 1. This one might not ever move off number 1 for me, even after I get to go hunt it, and I've never been. It's never been in this number 1. I should tell you something. Got friends that've been. I've eaten the meat. It's delicious. Elk. I said earlier, mule deer was major leagues of whitetail. Whitetail's, you know, AAA. Mule deer's major leagues. I stand corrected. Elk is major. Elk is the all-star game, okay, of the deer family. I mean, there's no way to describe it. You paint this picture in your head of sitting on a ridgetop, glassing, looking at a bull. He's bugling. Got his herd of cats. Got his herd of cows with him. He's hanging out. Big old sumbitch. Ready to go. Get to shoot him in amazing places. The bull itself is art if you get to harvest one. If you're into taxidermy, you hang it on the wall, you can just stare at it. It's like the Mona Lisa. It's gorgeous. You ever walked into a Cabela's and you can't stare at anything but the elk? Trust me, I do it every time. I don't know where elk are in y'all's top 10 for people who have hunted them compared to the other ones, but I've heard an elk bugle once in real life. We were at Yellowstone, my wife and I, and it changed my life. I can't not think about them. I want to go all the time. And next year, I'm going a lot. And even if I don't get to harvest one, it's going to be an experience of a lifetime. So they're at number 1, and I'll be damned if they ever get pushed off. But let me know. All right, on to the honorable mentions. We're going to start it off with axis deer. Now, axis deer is kind of like whitetail for me. They live in the same habitat. Similar kill pattern. They're beautiful, they're tasty. The reason they're an honorable mention for me, just outside my top 10, is because they're non-native species. Non-natives are hard for me because I believe in wanting to shoot the species where it grew up. I don't want to shoot a red stag in West Texas on a ranch. I want to go to New Zealand. Is it expensive? Yeah. Is it going to be tough? Yeah. That's the point. I don't want it to be easy. I'm a bow hunter. If I wanted it to be easy, I'd use a gun. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was a little far, Sorry. But I'm serious. Non-native species is hard for me. That's why it doesn't make my top 10. Squirrel. It's fun. Simple. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. It's just not a top 10 hunt. Antelope. I want to do. I do. I feel like it's going to be hard with the bow. And I'm a very primal person like that. I want to shoot it with my bow. I want to harvest it with my bow. I feel like antelope is a gun game, especially in like a Wyoming situation, big high plains. That's a rough bow hunt. Am I gonna try it? Yeah. But it doesn't make my top 10 just because of the low percentage of harvest and feeling like I got to use a gun. It kills me. Pheasant, quail. Pheasant and quail. Been quail hunting, never been pheasant hunting. They're fun. I just feel like they're expensive because you gotta use. A pheasant for sure, but you're using dogs. It's not a top 10 hunt for me. Changed my mind, but it's just not. Goose, crane, kind of group them together. They're big, slow, fine animals. You hunt them similar to ducks. You got calls, you got dogs, you're sitting out in the middle of the field, it's freezing your tits off. You know, they're tasty and they're pretty, but I don't know that it's a top 10 hunt for me. You know, this is Sports Center top 10, right? This is my title. This is those plays where the dude jumps over center field wall and makes a catch. Or you got OBJ in the end zone, one-handed grab, toe tap in the pylon. That's a top 10 play. This is, you know, Tyreek Hill catching another 82-yard touchdown from Patrick Mahomes last year. He's on the Dolphins now, but you know how it goes. Is it exciting? Yeah. But it's not a top 10. Sheep. Sheep's another honorable mention. I've got 2 of them. One behind me and one over there on the wall. All sheep, black Hawaiian. It was fun. It was in an outfitter. I bow hunted it. It was a blast. Tough animals, man. Tough animals. They're beautiful. They don't make my top 10 because they don't taste good. I don't like it. I just don't. I mean, change my mind. Maybe it breaks the top 10, but I have a hard time killing something I'm not going to eat. We talked about that in the predator section. I feel like it realms me into the predator section right here. Oh my god, my baby crying in the background. You guys can probably hear. My wife's probably changing her diaper or something. That's funny. Oh no, she's probably eating right now. No, it don't matter. You can hear her crying, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, anyway, sheep. I want to go do a big Colorado ram. Sounds like a freaking blast. I want to go bow hunt one of them sons of bitches. But let me know how to cook it, and maybe it gets in the top 10. I don't know. I'll update you after I get to go hunt it. Last one, moose. Moose is an honorable mention because I kind of tried to stick to the continental U.S., and if I'm going to go shoot a moose, I'm going to go to the Yukon, Alaska. I had a buddy that shot a moose, basically drained his life savings on shooting a moose. And I feel like my top 10 is kind of centered around what the average Joe Blow can go do. It's expensive. Take 12 different planes to get to where you need to go in the middle of nowhere for 4 days. I'm describing fun, but it's rough. Okay? Yeah, I mean, after I go moose hunting, maybe I'll change my mind. Again, it's going to be an updated list. But for now, it's a ghost that I want to chase. It's not a feasible thing. Like, I can go elk hunting. Right now, it's like, man, I'd like to moose hunt before I die. Elk hunting's like, I'm doing that next year. I don't care what it takes. So, doesn't crack the top 10. But if I ever get to go, it'd be amazing. So, going back through it, dove 10, predator 9, alligator 8, feral hog 7, ducks 6, 5 mule deer, 4 bears, 3 turkey, 2 whitetail, 1 elk, and there are honorable mentions. So that's my top 10. Stay tuned if it changes. I hope you guys follow with me. I'm trying to make this a little more professional as far as podcast goes, so I got a whole structure going on. We already did the Razor's Edge events of the day. We didn't do any drinks this time. I'm going to do a drink next time. But we're going to end each episode with a trivia question. So I'm going to give you guys a trivia question, and the answer is going to be at the top of the next episode. So you guys will get the trivia question on this one. Comment below what the answer is, and tune in next week to see if you're right. So, what is the most accurate way to age a white-tailed deer that is not on the hoof? Now, I say not on the hoof. Some of you are familiar with that, maybe some of you aren't. I'm not saying on the binoculars you're looking at this deer eating corn, eating sage, and going, he's like 3.5, his belly's kind of big, or, he's a 5.5-year-old, that's an old deer, his neck's thick. No, I'm talking about you already killed it, he's hanging up, you're ready to quarter it. How can you tell almost exactly how old that deer is? So what is the most accurate way to age a white-tailed deer that is not on the hoof? Let me know. You'll get the answer at the top of the next podcast. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Knocked Up After the Shot. Remember to subscribe to our channel and don't miss out on every content every week, and make sure you tune into the next podcast to see if you got my trivia question right. Also, follow our Instagram, knockedup.outdoors. Go over there and you'll get new content, reels, stuff like that, current events, what we're doing, and get the full videos on YouTube. Knocked Up Outdoors. Until next time, be still, don't suck.